The 2025 VNL Volleyball Nations League is upon us, and week one took off to a really hot start. For the US men's national team, not so much. But in this video, we're gonna break down some of the grades for individual players on the roster that competed through week three of this year's Volleyball Nations League. Let's get into it. Really exciting Nations League so far this summer. I think the first roster that was selected for the US team was a unique one, but pretty standard given it's the first year of the cycle. Lots of guys from the Olympic team are taking a break this summer, and it's a chance for development and for the next crop of great players to get a feel for the highest level of volleyball on this national stage. So I think the fact that you see some guys that are still in the NCAA, fresh out of the NCAA, and don't have that full pro ball experience is good for our next crop of players that need that exposure to this speed of the game. I selected 8 players from the first 3 matches that got a good amount of playing time, and we're gonna grade all of them on a normal grade scale like you'd see in the classroom. So first player is gonna be Merrick McHenry. Merrick has really dominated in his play so far from what I've seen. They keep saying it on the broadcast over and over again, but he touches 12-3, and whether it's Rowan or Isaacson out there setting him, his high contact point is tough to slow down. When the US is in system, and you've seen Karch say it in timeouts, the middles are going, the middles are clicking. When that ball's there, he's front row, they like to give him the ball, and why wouldn't you? He's super efficient, attacks at such a high point that can be very terminal, and big in big moments for the US. And blocking, I think he was really good as well. I think transitioning pin to pin, he was smooth, closed well, had a good feel for the game, and looked like he belonged out there. I think his overall performance, including his serving as well, which you know he has a pretty strong hybrid when he gets into it back there. So really strong performance for McHenry at this point through 3 matches. Next up we'll go Matt Knigge. I will give Matt a C+. I think he had a really good match, and I think he had kind of a mediocre match. I don't have all the stats, as individual stats aren't really posted for all these matches. He had a really good game with 9 kills. I think that was against Iran in that 5-set reverse sweep, but there's been some times when he's gotten a little bit exposed blocking, committing in the middle. I know he's capable of doing it, but just not seeing his best out there at moments, and that's why I'm giving him that C+ grade. Next up we have Gabby Garcia, who had some good games as well, but also some struggle games on top of that. I gave Garcia a grade of B- because he's expected to be a guy that can go in and really dominate on the right side, given his experience and his talent. And he has had some good showings, but again, also some tough spots as well. I think when you compare him to Hobus has looked much better on the right, and that's why you look at the end of the Slovenia game, how the US went to Hobus after 2 sets and dropping 2 sets to Slovenia. And I think that Garcia just kind of has to be a little bit better all around. He's a dominant serve, and we know how high he can hit out there on the right side. It's just finding those connections and dialing in that consistency throughout a match that needs to be a little bit better. Next up, Kyle D'Agostino, giving him a B grade. I think he was solid. He really stabilized serve receive. Again, a guy that we kind of know what he's capable of, so I don't think our passing was our biggest strength, and that's not solely on the libero, but definitely you want your libero taking up a big chunk of that court. In reception was definitely an issue against Ukraine, and I know we were moving around liberos a bit between him and Briggs at different points. But yeah, just a solid grade for him. He played well, had some good defensive touches, but just not like a game changer or not taking up 2/3 of the court. So I think a B grade is solid for his level of play so far. Next up, we'll go Kyle Hobus on the right side, giving him an A grade. He's played exceptionally well and looked really good so far through 3 matches. Every match he's played, he's contributed. He looks pretty elite. Hitting high, really strong on the red ball and D ball. Even in row 1, when you put him on the outside, he's been really effective there too. So he's been a bright spot. The CSUN grad, showing what he's capable of, and it's good to see, and I hope we see more of it. Next up, we have Cooper Robinson. I'm giving him a grade of A-. I think he's been a pillar for this team. Every time he's been on the court, he's been a threat. Serving, blocking, offensively, especially out of the BIC, which is a focal point of this US team. We know how much we love to use it, and when we can really focus on that middle third of middle and BIC, I think that's what really opens up our pins a lot. Robinson's been great. I know he's had his struggles, can obviously be better. I think his focus is clean contacts, incorporating some recycle in high ball situations. Obviously reception can always be a little bit better, but when you put together his full body of work, he's been stellar, and really down the stretch providing some big points for the US. Next up, Jordan Ewert. I'm going to give him a grade of C for the VNL so far. I think he's been solid. This is a guy with pretty good experience playing in this VNL and this type of level, and has had his time in the pro leagues as well. So I'm expecting a lot of him to really take charge for this team and be like a dominant OH1, OH2 kind of guy. And he's been good. He hasn't been his best, and I think the moments where he hasn't been his best have been down the stretch. You know, we get to 20, 21 in a lot of matches, and finding a way to score those last couple points, a couple moments where he hasn't been his best late in matches, and he's a guy that we rely on based on this constructed roster. I think he can be a little bit better out of the BIC. I don't think he's been super terminal in the back row. Passing kind of okay. So overall, just not his best brand of ball. Seeing what I've seen from him as a player, so hopefully he can bring some of that energy into the Cuba match if he gets a lot of playing time there, and continue to build and improve on these first couple games so far. Last player I'll mention is Quinn Isaacson. Giving him a B+. He's been good. He's been exactly what we need from the setter position. He hasn't really won or lost us any games. He's just doing exactly what he needs to do to keep it close and keep it tight. You know, down the stretch, I'd like him to make some better decisions on who to go to and maybe manufacture a couple points that way. But in terms of overall decision making and setter location, he's been pretty solid. So good couple games for Isaacson, and he's definitely a guy that is worthy of starting at this level for the national team. So that's it for the grades. Now I just have a couple other points that I've thought of from watching the VNL so far from a US perspective. First one, obviously we're a young team. The expectations are really low for this year in the Volleyball Nations League, and that's okay. I'm glad that Karch is giving a chance to all these guys to get some playing time, see what they're capable of, and if they're not playing well, then put in the next guy and see what they're capable of. That's how it should be at this point in the cycle. We're so far away. We already have that auto bid to 2028 in LA, and why not get some good exposure to these young players? Next, a lot of comments I've received is, you know, why aren't the big guys playing, and even why aren't the starters or typical guys playing in this VNL? And that's to get rest, to get a break. These guys play volleyball all year round, and the first year in a cycle, the DeFalcos, the Christensens, the Andersons need a chance to rest their bodies, recharge, so they can be the best they can be for world championships and their pro teams throughout the whole year. Now, I don't think we'll see Ma'a, Shoji, Ensing, some of the bigger name players until probably week 3, week 4 of the VNLs. That's just kind of typical, and I'm seeing those guys later on in the tournament, but we will see those guys at some point, whether it's Chicago or the week after that. And let's remember, this is the first chance for Karch Kiraly to make his imprint on this team. I think we've seen kind of that new coach playing out, and some miscommunications on systems and who's taking the second ball, substitution changes, just lots of change from what we've seen from Speraw and kind of the UCLA dynamic and how he coaches a team from the past couple seasons. But I think it's good. I think Kiraly is capable and experienced to turn this team into something that's really special. So keep watching. Excited for the upcoming match against Cuba. By the time this video is posted, that match will probably be over. Sin City was... Like I said, if you're a fan of the VNLs, whether the US is your team or you're supporting someone else, drop a comment down below. Give me a video idea to comment on. Hoping to make it out to some VNL events this summer. So if you have any plugs, any resources to make my job easier in doing that, let me know as well. And yeah, that's all I got in this one, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.